Hi, my name's Amanda and I'm a psychology student at UNE, and today I want to talk to you about psychological skills training and how they can help a young girl overcome performance anxiety when being judged. Psychological skills are really important for athletes and for performers because they allow a person to get into a state of flow or in the zone before they enter a performance or a competition. The state of flow is really important because it gets someone into a state where they're aroused enough to be on fire to compete and to achieve what they want to achieve, but without being over aroused and over anxious about what it is that they're about to partake in. Being over aroused and over anxious can cause an athlete to choke, and being under aroused causes an athlete's motivation to slip, where they just almost don't even want to be there or don't care about the outcome of their particular activity. The young girl that I want to look at today is a 9-year-old girl who competes in dance performances but also performs when it's not a competition. The times where this young girl performs or in practice, she tends to be able to smash out her routine, remember all the steps, be in the right timing. If she's singing, sing when she's supposed to sing. However, when she enters a dance competition, when judges are present, she tends to become over anxious and choke in those situations. She'll often get on stage and overthink her performance, perhaps mistiming dance steps or coming in at the wrong time with her singing. A sports psychologist dealing with this young girl will need to sit down and talk to her about what exactly she is thinking and feeling and what her self-talk is before both a competitive performance and the performances where she tends to be okay and perform really well. In this particular young girl's situation, the performances where she wasn't being judged, she tended to have a more positive outlook on the thing that she was about to do or the performance that she was about to undertake. She would tend to get excited about the performance, experience enjoyment and a sense of positivity when she's side of stage, almost like she's bursting to get out there and show people what she can do, because she loves telling a story and drawing an audience into what it is that she's actually trying to tell them. Versus a competition where there's a judge and she changes her focus from trying to draw an audience in and entertaining them to almost getting a perfect score. And the problem is that this elevates this young girl's anxiety past the state of flow, past her zone, so that she's almost choking mid-performance. She'll stop and think about what it is that she's supposed to be doing, perhaps miss some steps or perhaps miss a singing cue. This is something that she's noticed during a couple of different competitions, and she tends to be more nervous in a new environment where she's not familiar with the stage or with the people that she's performing alongside, so the competitors before and after her. When this was unpacked further, the young girl was able to describe that when she's performing for a judge, she tends to use self-talk strategies that are quite negative. Things like, don't stuff up, they might mark you down. You're going to get marked down in that part of the performance that you're struggling in. Whereas when she's going on stage to perform for a benign or an audience where there's no particular judges, they're just going to encourage her, her self-talk is more one of, how fun can I make this? Can I make the audience laugh? And it'll be really funny to do this together. So she almost has a completely different focus for those two kinds of scenarios, or those two kinds of performance scenarios, when in fact if she could use the outlook that she uses for a benign performance where there's no judges, in a situation where there's judges, it could actually help her perform to the best of her ability, get better marks than she's used to, and even enjoy the performance more. One thing that the sports psychologist can help her with is a pre-performance routine to prepare her and get her into a state of mind where she's ready to perform. The thing about a pre-performance routine is that it shouldn't just be used only on the times where she's going to compete with judges. It's something that she needs to get used to doing during rehearsal and during benign performances as well. So she uses this same, sequence of events and thoughts and feelings so that she's able to get into the state where she knows that she's able to perform to the best of her ability. So there are a couple of things that would be included in a pre-performance routine to help reduce the anxiety for this young athlete. The first is a progressive relaxation technique, where she's able to spend some time tensing and relaxing each muscle around her body. That way she's able to take full control of her muscles. One of the things that she noticed on stage when she was choking in front of judges was that she was so anxious and so tense that her body almost didn't flow freely like it normally would. A progressive relaxation technique will help her de-stress those muscles and allow her to feel how she normally feels when she performs well. It will also focus her mind and enable her to just feel more relaxed and less anxious about the performance. The next stage in her pre-performance routine will be some breathing exercises. This is important for both helping her regulate her breath and her control for singing, but also in terms of just regaining her body so that she's in control of what's happening. Decrease the heart rate so that it's not pumping over and above where it needs to be before she goes out onto stage, and allows her another opportunity to relax and reduce that anxiety. Another couple of quick parts of her routine will be the visualization of a good performance. So one of the things that a psychologist would teach her to do backstage is to rehearse the performance in her mind, but make sure she can also feel her muscles as she's rehearsing in her mind in terms of what they would be doing when she's performing well, and also to re-experience those emotions from a positive performance. Then, after she's used this imagery technique backstage, she gets side of stage and takes a deep breath before she finally steps out on stage and completes the routine. After a few months of practicing this pre-performance routine during rehearsals, benign performances, and also performances where she's judged, the young girl will learn to get into a mental state where she's able to control her anxiety and her emotions, and also her body in terms of her muscles won't be so tensed up, and she'll be able to continue to perform the way she normally does when it comes to her dance moves. This will also teach her really great skills for coping in other things in life as she gets older. This is a good example of a way we can use psychological skills training to help a young performer compete to the best of her ability. Thank you for listening.